It's getting so professional. It's getting so damn professional. Let me get to the display here. I want to watch this with you guys. And it was a little BBC blurb I saw on Discord. Is there life floating in the clouds of Venus? What? What? Hey, what's up, Hut? Welcome to the stream. Hey, Rin. What's going on? What's going on?
Source. We're going to learn how a global
Let's
team
watch
of
Venus, Life in Clouds. Space Wheels confirmed on Venus.
Could be evidence of life elsewhere, and not on Mars, but on the much more inhospitable Venus. Here's one of the team.
So what we think we found is phosphine gas in the atmosphere of Venus. Now, on a rocky planet like the Earth, phosphine is a rare gas, and it's mainly the result of life. So it's what we call a biosignature. Now, on the Earth, phosphine is caused by human activity, so through industry or through microorganisms or microbes.
They're real kinky when they have color in their hair. I'm just saying from personal experience.
It's really exciting because of the possibility that it could have also been produced.
Like that's
by
very
life,
attractive
like
to me.
It is on the Earth.
This woman, the nerd and the whole nerd look here is very attractive to me. I don't know, maybe that's my own type of like preference, but like the whole purple hair and the glasses. I know this is BBC right now. This is maybe a little bit inappropriate, but this is working for me. I call me different, but this is working for me.
Now, to be clear, this doesn't yet prove
like
that there is life on Venus, but here is what phosphine looks like. This is a computer-generated image. Usually on Earth, this gas is associated, as we've just been hearing, with microbes living in oxygen-poor environments like swamps, or in the guts of animals like penguins. Let's go back to Dr. Drabek Maunda for more on this.
Those processes don't make enough phosphine gas. So what that means is that we have to start thinking outside the box for other explanations. So phosphine could be produced through some sort of other chemical or geological process that no one knows about on Venus, or there could be a biological origin, so life could be producing the gas.
Now, Venus isn't exactly a top candidate for where you might think life would be in the solar system. Surface temperatures are more than 400 degrees. The atmosphere is almost entirely carbon dioxide. Probes that have made it there have lasted just minutes before breaking down in the conditions. But 50 kilometers up into the atmosphere, evidently it's a different story. Lewis Dartnell studies the conditions for life on other planets.
So there is a habitable zone, a range of altitudes on Venus where it's not too hot and not too acidic, that life that we understand here on Earth, so-called extremophile life, extremely hardy survival superhero type cells, could survive that environment in the Venusian clouds.
Let's bring in Professor Jane Greaves. She's the lead researcher on this project. Thank you very much for your time. Congratulations on this discovery. Help us understand how significant you see this as being.
I think it's part of a bigger picture looking for life on Mars and the moon Europa and so on. But we are very excited to have gone out and looked for, as you heard, a very distinct...
We don't know anything. Like we are on this little blue ball spinning so damn fast. Like we're just a bunch of monkeys at the zoo right now. We don't know anything. So like the fact that like people would take the time out of their day to say that there's no life anywhere else. Like you have to be the most egocentric person to not think that there's some type of life out there other than Earth. Like anybody that watches this channel that thinks that there is no life outside of Earth, like seriously go bye-bye. Like I don't want those people in my community. Like at least have an open enough mind to realize that there has to be some type of life out there. Like we don't know anything. we know a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what reality even is. We don't even know if we know enough to know our direct surroundings, and even then we don't know enough.
Distinctive biosignature gas, and it was a carefully designed experiment, but we were really blown away when we found it.
I'm sure you were.
That's
so
awesome.
What do you need to do from this point onwards to work out why the gas is there?
Well, we've already run
Alien
a lot of
farts.
calculations and ruled out a lot of obvious things. So I think our next step is to carry on using telescopes around the world. And those are slowly coming back into action because the staff have been operating under pandemic conditions. But we hope to find more precisely where this gas is on the planet, and that's our next step.
Do you have the technology you need? Is it just the staff you need
Wait,
back at
look
work?
real
or
close.
actually do you need
If you look in this lower quadrant, it's a space whale and it's farting. Yes, it's right there.
to develop new types of telescope to fully understand what's happening in Venus's atmosphere?
Well, ideally, we'd like some new types of telescope, I think. So there's a aeroplane-borne telescope, for example, called SOFIA, the Stratospheric Observatory. We'd love to use
time to
their
put some
telescope
probes
once
up
it's flying again
Venus's
to look
ass.
a bit more at where phosphine is on the
Time
planet.
to give Venus a colonoscopy.
And in
Let's
terms
do it.
of the kind of life that could have produced this gas, what are we actually talking about?
Well, it's got to be something pretty small, or it would sink through the atmosphere and die
Right.
in the heat.
Right.
So we think it's
No
something
space whales.
of microbe-like size, maybe
Right,
just
tiny.
a few microbes living in a little droplet of sulfuric
That's
acid and water.
crazy.
And in that environment where they don't immediately dry out, they would perhaps be able to survive if they've got some kind of protective mechanism they've evolved over millions of years, some kind of little shell around them to stop them being corroded by the acid.
And you've been
Yes,
studying
Green
the
Thumb.
planets for many years.
Yes.
Did you ever imagine
Very
that you
good.
would find something like this on Venus rather than somewhere like Mars where we might
Jay.
expect to find some life in time?
Yeah, I've been interested in habitability in the solar system for years. And in fact, Dr. Drabek Maunder and I did a project years ago on Enceladus.
Yes, because I haven't had a date in over 15 years. So since I have no luck on Earth, I thought that I would try somewhere on Venus.
And then the Venus thing was just almost a technology test. Weren't
I'm
expecting
sorry,
to find
that's
something,
mean.
but to say we know how
That's
to
so
use
mean.
telescopes like the James Clerk Maxwell telescope in Hawaii, the first we used, and it just came through.
Well, congratulations. It's a fascinating study and opens up quite a few possibilities.
Wow.
We appreciate you coming on to explain it. And those of you who would like
How
even more on that, if you go to
cool.
the Science tab of the BBC News website or app, you can find extensive coverage of that discovery.
Ah, eagle. Well, there we go. There we go. Possibility of life, small microbes floating in the atmosphere on droplets on Venus. Very interesting. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below.